Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this weekly vlog. We are back to kind of regular programming somewhat for this week's vlog. Honestly, I am so happy to be back a little bit more regularly, back into a routine. For those of you who might not know, I missed a few uploads because we were traveling and life was a little bit busy. Last week's vlog was slightly shorter ones. This is kind of our first like properly back to it vlog, so I am very excited to be back hanging out with you guys. And yeah, so welcome to this week's vlog. On the agenda for this week is the spring equinox, which is very exciting. I feel like it feels like it's been quite a long winter. I know it always feels that way, but we're looking forward to the spring equinox, which is fab news. That is on Thursday. Today is Tuesday. We literally got back from Rome yesterday, and as I said, the plan for this week is I'm back to work, which is fabulous. We love the routine of being back to work. We have got a live tarot reading on Soul Shala on Thursday for the spring equinox and astrological new year. But to be honest, more than anything, I am someone who finds back-to-back generally traveling relatively stressful and quite ungrounding. So whilst I am back to work this week and there is lots of work that needs to be done, there is also an element of I'm on my cycle this week. It is also that recovery sort of period from just needing to ground and settle, get back into a routine and just bring the nervous system back into regulation again. In addition to that, this is, and I know I've spoken about this on a fair few videos over the past few months, but it's just whether or not people have watched those. Maybe they've come to this one. This is the first sort of gentle moving vlog as well, because for those of you who might not know, Jake and I are moving in the next couple of weeks. We're not 100% sure on the exact date we're aiming for at the moment, but 3-ish weeks, we think. So it is probably a good idea to start getting things a little bit organized. And I feel like with the spring equinox, we're spring cleaning and whatnot vibes anyway. So that kind of leads me on to what is on the agenda for this week, which I have already started this morning, which is having a massive wardrobe clear out. I have actually done all of my leggings, all of my sports bras. I've actually got them in a bag and I need to go through them and see what, if anything, I'm going to post on Vinted, and the rest I'm just going to donate, because whilst Vinted is amazing and incredible and I love Vinted, I don't have that much of a wiggle room time-wise, so I might post some things for a week or something, and if they don't sell then I will donate them. Just more so because I want them to have a new lease of life versus getting money from them. I'm not worried about that. More so, I just want the knowledge that I have decluttered, because I truly do believe less is more, and I hate having loads of stuff. I really do. It's so funny because I think if you were to walk into my home or my apartment, you would think that I love stuff, and I do love stuff, but I love intentional items to have in my home. I really don't love unintentional clutter, it doesn't make my like heart and soul feel at ease. So whilst I don't love moving, and whilst I actually really don't enjoy decluttering either. I'm just not type A enough for that. I love the feeling of having decluttered, knowing that everything I have within my wardrobe brings me joy, that it is all things that I really feel aligned with. So yes, with that in mind, we're doing a wardrobe declutter. Done the sports bras, done the leggings. I will link my Vinted below. And I'm just putting them all through a nice big wash so that they are all nice and fresh after the winter. So that is a big thing on here. But other than that, as I said, the main aim for this week is to try and just settle back into my slightly slower rhythm of living. Those of you who are not new here and hang out here with me all the time, you will know that I am the biggest advocate for slow living and living with the seasons and just like a gentle way of being, and that is something that is so important and so healing for me. So getting back to that is gonna feel, honestly, it's gonna feel amazing. I cannot wait already. So yes, that is kind of the vibe for this week's vlog. As I said, today is Tuesday. I've just sent out an email to update to my email list all about spring equinox this week, and had a therapy session this morning. I feel like we haven't actually chatted. I'm not going to natter here for too much longer. We haven't really chatted lots about sort of the healing diaries, which is very much what we're still on. For those of you who maybe started this sort of journey of the healing diaries, which was also my beginning of kind of like super regular vlogs, I definitely feel as if since like maybe last summer I've been on a real journey of doing lots of inner healing, lots of feminine healing, lots of cliche finding myself, and therapy has been a huge part of that. And I have, honestly, I can categorically say enjoyed every moment of it. Although obviously at times it can be challenging, I think given my job as a yoga teacher, I'm always thinking in that way, and I'm always curious about the healing that can be done and whatnot. So yeah, I feel like we got to be like 6 months on from starting therapy, and I feel like I could give you a little update of, I honestly feel like it's such a cornerstone. I really do, whether enjoy is the right word, or really find so much value from it. And it's something that I know I'm shocked I haven't come to sooner in life, but know I will come back to over and over and over again throughout my life as I move through it going forwards. But yes, I have been nattering for far too long. The plan for today is I'm actually going to have a relatively chilled afternoon, making sure that all of the decluttery bits, I might do one more shelf actually of decluttering, and once I've done that, get it all through the wash. I have a Vinted parcel to post, and then it's actually sunny outside, cold but sunny, so I think I'm gonna go on a nice long walk. So without further ado, let's dive into the day. Good afternoon, almost evening, everyone. I am just out on my evening walk, well, currently sitting in nature, and honestly, nothing resets your energy and feels as good as alone time in nature, at least for me. Like being outside, connecting. I obviously haven't had my usual like morning routine or just routine of being in nature every day, and honestly, this feels like just like medicine for the soul. I am sat here on a tree stump with a flask of raspberry leaf tea. I'm in my luteal phase, so for those of you who don't know, raspberry leaf tea is really amazing for helping sort of the symptoms of PMS. I also do, I don't know if I've mentioned this one here before, but I also do struggle with PMDD, not every month, but I have struggled with it in the past, so I'm always really particular about that, and raspberry leaf tea is one of the really good supplements for that. So I am out my evening walk, raspberry leaf tea in hand, snuggled up in a warm sort of scarf and a jumper, and sat on a tree stump in what I guess is still late winter sun, but it is feeling very springy today. We have got like still cold, still crisp, but the most beautiful sunshine, honestly. But yes, it's still very much beginning to feel like a very English spring, which is exciting at times. Now I'm feeling really good. Honestly, this is everything I need. I think that is always, I don't know how many times I will have said this on the vlogs over the past however knows how long, but if you are ever feeling just scatty all over the place, anxious, whatever it might be, going and standing and walking in nature, sinking your feet into the earth. I literally have my Birkenstocks off within my socks. Feet in the earth is honestly the biggest healer, and I also think this is a theory I've actually had. We're going on a big natter, but this is a theory I've kind of been having, that's been coming up in my meditations. It's something I've actually been thinking about an awful lot. Is obviously everything I share on Soul Shadow is very much around like rooted feminine healing. Forgive the planes, we're in a slight path here, but rooted feminine healing and I guess spirituality through a very feminine lens. And I think that modern spirituality can be, I had a conversation with a friend and she described it as very hedonistic, which I actually thought was a perfect description if I'm honest. But what I mean by that is modern spirituality is very focused on, I'm going to pause and come back when the plane's gone. So yeah, as I was saying, modern spirituality is very focused on like ascension. If we think of like Father Sky, Mother Earth, it's very focused on sort of enlightenment, ascending beyond the human experience. It's very much about reaching the divine, which is outside of us, which, don't get me wrong, that is so valid, and I also think that that's a huge part of spirituality in general. However, I just wonder if there is a more feminine role of spirituality and path of spirituality, that rather than this focus on Father Sky, the above, the ascension, it's more founded and rooted in Mother Earth. If we think of the contrast of Father Sky and Mother Earth, the understanding that actually as women, when we are on a spiritual path, we actually have so much of the universe and the cosmos within us. So maybe our journey is one of grounding and rooting into our feminine being, and with that in mind, it's really about this like, I don't know, this Mother Earth grounding inward energy. I truly do believe this so strongly. It's a real theory that I have that I haven't really heard anyone speak about, but I really do think that there is this looking outside of ourselves. We forget, especially as women, when we have this like through the womb space, have this direct portal to the cosmos, like it's within us. And grounding and connecting with nature is actually one of the most spiritual and potent practices of spirituality and connecting and like meditation, at least for me. And actually I have spoken to a lot of women about this who also agree. But yeah, I thought I'd just share that. I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Obviously, I think we all experience spirituality very, very differently. No one's spiritual path is going to be the same. No one's experience with divine or whatever you believe is above you, and also like inner wisdom and intuition, is going to be the same. However, I really think that even modern spirituality gets pulled into this very masculine focus, doing more, ascending more, being more, highest self, when actually we, especially as women, have so much of it all within us, and it's not about being more, it's about rooting in. Anyway, I'm going to stop nattering. I'm going to finish my tea, and then I'm going to head home. I'm going to tuck into a book, and we are having a good old classic Amara cozy evening in. Hello again, guys. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm literally just about to warm myself up some dinner, and I thought I would share this with you because this is like my favorite thing ever. This is the minestrone soup from Dalesford Organic from M&S, Marks and Spencer's. Anyone who's UK based will know what I'm talking about. These are incredible. Jake's got one in the fridge. He's got like a chicken bone broth one. Obviously I'm veggie, so I have got minestrone with, I think, cannellini beans, pasta shells and olive oil. This is my favorite easy dinner. Usually I will make minestrone from scratch for myself. However, when I'm lazy, this is my favorite because, for those of you who may not know, minestrone is actually one of the most common foods eaten in blue zones, which are zones where people, I think, live to 90 or most likely live to 100. I don't know. I might be completely wrong on that, but it is extremely good for you, and many studies have shown, and I love it. It's such a cozy, warming dinner with some toast, and yes. So I'm literally about to eat up my dinner, and then we are in for a cozy, chilled evening. It is officially spring. Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy spring equinox, Astara. Oh, it is, as you can probably tell, the most beautiful sunny spring morning. I feel like, without fail, actually, the spring equinox, the day of the spring equinox always does tend to bring really beautiful spring weather that I feel like at times can bring a real big hope for the season ahead. So yes, as I said, it is Thursday. The plan for today is I've actually headed out a little bit later, but I am on my, whether I'm on my morning walk or I'm earthing, I'm sat on a blanket against a big tree. I've been journaling, I'm gonna pull some cards, I've got my book. I'm just really kind of taking this as, whether it's a like everyday sort of ritual or really simple ritual, this time spent in some spring sunshine out in nature, I feel like is the perfect way to kind of give thanks for the spring equinox. So yeah, that is one thing. We also have a collective tarot reading, and yeah, big spring equinox astrological new year collective tarot reading on the soul shadow this evening, which I'm looking forward to. And actually yesterday, I didn't show you this, I might show you it when I get home, but I just been pulling together a few bits and bobs for a very exciting new series on soul shadow, which yeah, I'm really excited about it. So that will also be really good. So yeah, that is kind of the vibe for today. I'm trying to take it really easy. I won't lie, playing coming over. I won't lie, I'm feeling actually a little bit anxious today, so I'm trying to kind of take it as easy as possible. So it could be nice to spend a day together and kind of see what I do to reset my nervous system, saying that I already feel a million times better having sat out here back against an oak tree, feet in the earth. I already feel 10 times more regulated. But yeah, happy spring equinox, let's hang out. Hello guys, it is a fair bit later. I actually stopped at the shop on my way home and I picked up some spring flowers, and I'm going to pop them in a vase. I haven't really brought as many to do like a proper full arrangement, but I thought I could sit and chat to you whilst I pop some flowers in a vase, and I also thought I could talk you through maybe some of the prep work, because I think when I showed you flower arranging in one of my more recent vlogs, we did a lot of more of the actual arranging and I didn't really show you as much of the prep work. So today I have got hyacinths and tulips. They just felt very spring equinox for me. these hyacinths are so pretty. I always try and pick up flowers or like buds that aren't fully in bloom, because then they're always going to last just that little bit longer. So I've actually just got like a bowl over here to put the bits off. So for these I am picking off the leaves because it just means that they're not quite as wide, especially as my vase, the mouth of my vase is quite thin, and they actually seem to be coming off pretty easily, to be fair. I'm going to dip them in the water there because they're quite earthy, if you know what I mean. They've literally got like bits of earth on them, and then, as I'm sure everyone knows, just trimming on an angle so that it can uptake the water a little bit easier. And that's really all I'm doing. I'm then just going to pop them in that mug full of water just to help them. I should really take that off. Yes, as I was saying, my camera actually died on me there. Taking off all of the leaves, which are actually coming off really easy from these hyacinths. It also just helps the water not to get too just like manky, because having fresh water is like the key to keeping your flowers fresh for longer. These honestly smell incredible. I actually have a perfume that smells pretty much identical to these. It is definitely going to be my spring perfume. It is the Penhaligon's Bluebell scent, and it smells like fresh cut flowers, fresh cut spring flowers. It's honestly so pretty, so I'm very excited to wear that this spring actually. But yes, as I was sort of pottering around the shop, I was like, you know what, on a day like today, nothing is going to bring me more joy, more peace than just doing a little bit of flower arranging and having fresh flowers at home. You can see in there, there's like a little bud wanting to come through, so I'm going to try and keep that. I don't actually have a bud vase, so I might just have to put it in a little mini glass or something. These are a little bit more tricky to get out, so I'm just going to cut that one. Perfecto. They're doing a real droopy one. These hyacinths are really quite droopy, but that is okay. You know what, I'm going to trim that with, look at that little dinky one. That will be so cute when it does eventually bloom. And then, honestly, so many scraps when I do this. Let's dive into the tulips as well. I feel like you guys kind of got the vibe of what I'm doing now, so we can chat a little bit more generally. I was having a little think this morning. I was doing my morning gratitude, as I said, and I feel like that's quite important coming into a new season as well, but also thinking about what it was that I wanted to let go of, sort of leave within the winter months, and bring into the spring. And I was really trying to think about this, and some of the things I was kind of thinking about, those are so pretty. Some of the things I was kind of thinking about was, I think maybe a little bit of like whether it's not so much self-talk, but more so just like looking to the past and maybe wondering if you've made the right decisions. But it's really funny because I would always have said at one point I was never someone to really regret anything, and I still very much feel that way. But I sometimes think now that occasionally I allow myself to kind of look back and maybe think about the way that I dealt with things and think, gosh, I wish I dealt with that differently, or whatever it might be. But something that I'm reminding myself, and something that I wanted to put in my intentions and share with you guys that might resonate, is that, you know what, especially in these phases where we are growing and changing, which we always are, that's the whole purpose of life, isn't it? To grow and evolve and change. You're always handling things with the best you know at the time, right? Like, you're doing the best you possibly can in that given moment with the information you know, with the experience that you have, with the wisdom that you have. So yeah, it was just something that was kind of on my mind this morning very much when I was doing those intentions and what it was that I wanted to release and whatnot. But yes, also with that being said, whilst I was on my sort of outing to the shop, to M&S, it is very warm and sunny out there, and I'm actually thinking, I know I mentioned earlier, I've been feeling just like a little bit anxious today, and usually when I'm feeling quite anxious, I do tend to stay at home. I'm a real homebody, but It is so nice and sunny out there that I think I actually might take my laptop and go and sit outside in a cafe, just for a change of scenery, which I think sometimes is important when we maybe feel not so much in a rut, but just maybe feeling a little bit in our head. Having a change of scenery can feel really, really nice. And I've got a few hours after I do this to do that. I also really want to show you what I'm planning for Soul Shower in the upcoming months. Honestly, it's just one particular series that I think some of the members kind of know is coming, but I definitely haven't mentioned here. And I have literally just pinned down my photographer to take some like content photos for it, and I need to actually plan out all the classes. I might actually do that tomorrow, as I've planned a few of them, but I think I might have a little sit down and begin to just plan some of the classes for that very exciting series. So I might show you like the energy board, the mood board for it, and see if you guys can guess what series we have coming on the Soul Shower. For those of you who might not know what the Soul Shower is my virtual online studio. So it is like the home for all of my online classes, and we do lots of different series throughout the year, and it's always very rooted in like feminine healing. So yes, it is a yoga membership, but we just do an awful lot more. I kind of think of it as like a feminine healing studio, because yes, there's yoga, but there's also tarot readings and meditations and sound healing, and also a big part of it is also community and the opportunity to connect with like-minded women as well. So yeah, that is me off on a real natter away. Honestly, I think these are going to be so pretty. You can't really see, but I think they're going to have some pink in them, which will be so nice. Okay, I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse whilst I finish prepping these, and then I'm going to pop them into my vase. Just for anyone who wasn't here last time, when I do my flowers, I put in some water and then just like a little, I think like a tablespoon of bleach. I eyeball it, but the bleach, whilst it sounds crazy, is really helpful for stopping the water from just going really gross, and helps your flowers stay alive a little bit longer. So that is how I prepped everything. But anyway, I'm gonna put you on a time lapse, and we're gonna get these flowers in and just breathe some spring energy into our space. Something about tulips is that they will continue to grow. Any sort of like, I don't know, what would you call them? They will continue to grow as they're in the vase. So these are a little short, but it'll be fine. I just wanted to show you what I've been working on for Soul Shower. The cats are currently sharing a chair over there to have their afternoon nap, and that's Mango's toy, Miss Frog, that she leaves in the most opportune places in the flat. But anyway, I've actually covered up the name because I don't want to give away too much here, but this is kind of like the energy mood board for our next series on the Soul Shower, and the pretty flowers. I'm very excited for these to bloom. But yeah, so this is kind of the energy. I always kind of have a mood board in mind for whenever we launch a new series. This actually doesn't include any of the photos that we're going to be taking necessarily. This is just, it gives an energy for me. So that is very much a little sneak peek for what is to come. I really wonder if you guys are going to get it, but I know a few members have already clocked on to what's coming next, and I am really excited about it. It's actually probably been something I've wanted to do for quite a while. But yes, I am very excited about this series. I feel like we've really just kind of really found our little niche on Soul Shower in terms of rooted feminine yoga practice and healing, and just, again, this is just feeling really, really, really aligned. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. As I said, my plan for the afternoon is I'm probably going to pop to a cafe soon and do some work just before I've got a workshop this evening. So I need to be back for them. But I realized on Monday I didn't actually, Tuesday, whenever I started the vlog, I didn't actually tell you much more about how my decluttering was going, honestly, because it's still mid like bombs hit site in the bedroom because I'm going through all the wardrobes and I didn't want to pull you in there whilst it was looking like complete chaos. It's still looking like chaos, but we are making progress. I think I'm going to try and get some things uploaded on Vinted tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, and then the rest of it I will take to like a charity clothes bin, maybe even today. We'll see how we go. But yeah, I'm gonna get myself all sorted, and then I think I'm gonna take myself straight back out and go and sit in the sun somewhere and really soak it all up. That's what I feel like I need today. Good evening, guys. I have actually just arrived home. I've got a cup of tea brewing over there. I'm just taking a moment to get myself ready for our workshop. I've got about half an hour, so I've got some time. I've pulled out my tarot decks, and given it's the spring equinox, I'm going to give them a nice big cleanse, especially before I read for everyone this evening. So I've got my cleansing smudge stick, and I actually wanted to show you these because I also picked these up whilst I was in France earlier this month. We were in the French Alps, and these are 100% beeswax pillar candles, and I just thought, you know what, I was going to use one of these this evening because they smell like honey. They smell so nice. But yellow is very much the color of, I guess, kind of summer but also spring, and I just thought that that would actually be perfect symbolically as well for what we have kind of going on today with the spring equinox and whatnot. So I'm actually very excited to light this, and I'm trying to actually eventually, I would love to use all beeswax candles. So this is my first time using them, but they are obviously really great in terms of like paraffins and being non-toxic and just really good for you. Not good for you, but not bad for you, if that makes sense. So I'm very excited about this, so I wanted to show you that. But with that being said, I am also going to give these a little bit of a cleanse, drink some tea. I'm also just going to decide on what kind of spread I feel like. I've actually decided I want to use, not in focus, I want to use my Moonchild deck tonight. I was really just feeling called to use this one. So this is the deck I'm going to read from tonight, and as I said, I am just doing a bit of a spring clean energetically. Energetic hygiene is so important when it comes to sort of anything you use for like ritual and spiritual practices. So I am not in focus, that's better. So yeah, just taking this moment before I sort of prep myself to get these lovely and clean. And again, the spring equinox is a really good time to just almost clear off any of that winter energy, create fresh space for spring energy. So yes, with that being said, let's dive into prepping, and I'll check in with you once I finish my workshop. Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. I think the last time I checked in with you was just before I went on with all of my soul channel members. We did a live collective spring equinox tarot reading. That was really, really good. We actually ended up going into an awful lot more depth than I expected. It was a very, very deep reading, and I know that it resonated with a fair few members because they popped me messages after watching the recording, and the few of them that they're live, and it was just one of those really deep readings that really went a lot deeper than I even planned, but I will actually link that below because you can actually just join that as like a one-off without being a member. If you did want to tune into that collective reading for the spring equinox, the beginning of the astrological new year, Aries season, you are more than welcome to, and I have no doubt it would resonate because it's created for my community. So yeah, I'm going to pop that down below should you wish to. But as I said, it's Saturday morning and I thought that we could do one of those just very chilled, sit down, chit chat, get ready with me. I haven't got anything particularly big planned today. I think I'm going to go for a walk, might pop to a cafe. We had quite a lot go on yesterday, just generally in our personal life. So it was a busy day, so I feel like we just needed a recharge today. So I thought I could do a sit down and we could get ready together and just have a big old chit chat. Now I am really excited to share with you some of the bits that I'm going to be using today because they have been very, very kindly gifted by Merit Beauty, which is a brand that I absolutely adore. If you've been watching my vlogs for a little while, you may remember that I did an order of this like with my own money, or probably this time last year, used the products until they were empty, and this just came up at exactly the right time to refill my entire collection so I could talk you through like almost a full face of Merit Beauty. And if that's something you've been thinking about, or you're maybe wanting to do your makeup a little bit differently, we could chat about it. So before we even begin, I thought that I would show you some of the products that I have here, and then I can chat you through kind of why I changed up my makeup routine around this time last year. So probably the main thing that made me want to try Merit Beauty was this. This is the Minimalist Complexion Stick. This is a concealer but can also be a stick foundation, and I saw this and I was like, you know what, that could be perfect for me because I've been really changing up my makeup routine. This was this time last year, bear in mind. So around this time last year I was kind of thinking, I was like, you know what, I really want to move away from wearing, I never wore particularly heavy makeup, but like wearing foundation every day, wearing tinted moisturizers every day. I really just wanted to allow my skin to breathe. I wanted to, again, really tune into this vibe of less being more. You guys will have heard me say that so many times, but that is something I truly believe, that less can be more, and just allow things to feel more effortless, because I just feel like that was a big quality I actually wanted to bring into my life, and a big intention that was there of allowing things to feel a little bit easier and to feel effortless. And I thought I could start that with my makeup because I really also wanted to feel really confident in my own skin, and I always have felt quite confident in my own skin, but I really wanted to feel like, you know, those girls who just like can wake up and they don't wear makeup and they just feel like themselves, and they're not like, oh no, I haven't worn makeup and I don't feel confident. I didn't want to be like that, and I wasn't really like that, but I really didn't want to be like that, if that makes sense. I really wanted to feel really confident, just whatever it might be, whether I had makeup on, whether I didn't have makeup on. And I do a fair few no makeup days these days, which I love. I love it. But yeah, that was kind of my thoughts behind it, and that was where I really thought that this could be great just for spot concealing, and then I could just kind of go through my day, and that's what sort of tipped my toes into Merit Beauty. And these are some of the products that I have just been loving. So we're gonna get ready together and I can chat you through them as I go. The first product, which I love, it took me a moment to actually begin to love this product, but this is the Great Skin Serum. I am someone with dry skin, not too sensitive, but definitely dry, and this is incredible. When I first got this, I wasn't sure. I was like, it's fine. I'm not so sure, like, it's fine, is what I was like. I was like, oh, it could probably be replaced with another serum, but as I used it and as I finished it, this became just a must-have for me. I genuinely saw my skin improve. I just saw how I saw my skin transform. So I love this serum. I shake it up and then I just do 2 pumps, and I love this. I really, really do. This literally just breathes life into my skin each morning, and again, actually I feel really like gives my skin a bit of like a glowy lift. So when I'm not wearing any sort of base products like foundation or tinted moisturizer, my skin looks really happy and healthy and just nourished. I really, really love this. This is like one of my absolute faves. The next product is a new product that they sent me, which I've actually been trying for a few weeks because before I wanted to kind of share it with you guys, and this is the Great Skin Moisturizer. I'm hoping you can see that. Yeah, the Great Skin Moisturizer. I'm also really liking this. I'm a dry skin girl, so I wasn't sure if this was going to be like almost heavy enough for me. It's meant to be like a priming moisturizer, and I was like, I just don't know if it's going to be moisturizing enough. I'm actually loving this. I do like 2 pumps, and the idea behind this is you're meant to put this on and then apply your makeup whilst it's still not quite dry, so that it really like melds in with your makeup. And I have been loving this, even though it's not heavy, and I usually lean towards quite a heavy moisturizer because I trust then that my skin is going to feel really nourished. This isn't heavy and it still feels really nourishing. Even like at the end of the day, my skin still feels really happy and nourished. I really, really like this. Oh, it feels so good. Star of the show. With this on like an everyday basis, I need to get out my mirror actually. With this, what I do is I literally just put a little bit under my eyes, and then I just do any like spots. So that is everything. And honestly, I feel like even on here you can see how perfect a skin match this is. Like, it just melts into my skin. They have so many options, and again, that was where I was like, I really need a product that is going to be perfect for this kind of like no makeup, easy makeup look. And with this, I do actually use the Merit brush. I now have 2 of these and I love these. Right, I feel like I can start talking about some other things other than makeup now, but it has been a really nice transition to move away from just wearing less and not feeling like I need to, as I said, do a full face before every single day. I also use this though when I'm filming soul shadow classes. Like, you can build it up so that if I was filming soul shadow classes, I could just have it a bit heavier, and sometimes I do then use like a base product as well if I'm filming classes. But I just love love that particular product. I think it's honestly so amazing. I don't think I actually told you the color I use in this. I use the shade Bisque, and I've used this twice. This is my perfect shade. I have quite a like fair to medium in the winter if I'm not wearing any base product, fair to medium skin tone with olive undertones. So yes, anyway, this is in the color Sen, I think Sen, and I literally just brush this on so easy. Honestly, I love it. I feel like I can natter on about some other things now whilst I do my makeup with you, and I'll just chat you in on a few other bits that I use. But as we've sort of come into spring, first of all, I feel like, and I wonder if you guys are feeling this too, there has already been a massive shift energetically just from that day of the spring equinox into like the spring energy. And I actually wrote about this on the Soul Shadow blog, and we were talking about like little sort of like everyday rituals to help you find the magic moments in the mundane, which is something I'm so passionate about, and it's a big kind of cornerstone of my work, is helping people find simplicity in their rituals, in their practices, and really discovering the magic in the mundane. And there are so many beautiful rituals that we can do for this, such as morning sun gratitude, daily earthing, which you know I am obsessed with, but also in addition to that, just like planting seeds and gardening is amazing, because you can literally plant seeds with intentions with them. So giving your seeds an intention and planting them and allowing them to grow as you nourish them. But yes, that is some of the things I'm kind of thinking about and we've been chatting about on the Soul Shadow blog. That is actually free, so I will link that down below. The next thing I'm going in with is blush. This is a new shade in the shade Beverly Hills. I love this. This makes me so excited, this blush. So easy to use. I think something that Merit often shares is how like just easy it is. Like, if you are new to makeup or just don't want to spend that much time being perfect about it, I love these products. I actually really love the process of makeup, if I'm honest. I could sit down and spend half an hour doing it, but I don't necessarily want to every day. I only really want to do that if I've got a special occasion, but otherwise this is perfect. And I just dot it on like that. Same brush, blend it all in, which I really really like. I really love this shade as well, actually. I really think that will be a shade that I use like every day for quite a while, if I'm honest. Okay, we're back with brows done. Okay, we're back. Brows are done. Oh, I know I said this was going to be a full face at Mirror Beauty, almost full face, because this is one of my favorite things and I want to show it to you guys as well. This I actually use every day, which is shocking because I'm not someone who used to wear eyeshadow every day, but this is like perfection. I love this. This is the Giorgio Armani eye tint. Oh gosh, I don't know the name of this. It's in the shade Cashew. It is amazing and it is so easy and it looks so natural. I literally just do a bit there, a bit there, and it out. And this honestly actually just looks like a really natural, in my opinion, like naturally shades the eyes and makes them look really like, I don't know, it just gives it something and adds some dimension without looking like I'm wearing loads of makeup. And I always use this as like a base for everything. So if I'm gonna do a like proper eyeshadow look, I will just put this on and then I'll layer on top of it. And I really, again, I really, really love this. I don't know if you can see that there, but it is just perfection. I really love this product. I was influenced by this product by someone I follow on Instagram and it was one of my favorite things I've been influenced by, without a doubt. Next we have mascara. Again, this is a really easy drugstore one for me, L'Oreal Panorama. I am quite loyal to this one because it comes in brown and it just looks beautiful. Gosh, I'm struggling to talk about two things at once here. I'm either talking about makeup or I'm talking about the spring equinox, but I would love to know how you guys are feeling coming into spring and coming into a new season, and just maybe what intentions you guys have and how you are just feeling about it. I feel like new seasons bring a lot of, I feel like this particular one brings a lot of movement. It brings a lot of change at times as well. I'd love to know how you guys are feeling about it. I still haven't updated you on how my decluttering and moving process is going. I'm nearly there. I did drop off some bags to the clothes bin. I need to put them on Vinted. I will link my Vinted below. They might not be up tomorrow, but if not, they will be up during the week because I need to do that for you guys. I do often put it off uploading on Vinted because I find that I just can't find the time, but we're gonna find the time. Hopefully tomorrow after I posted this, that'll be a bit of a kick for me to upload to Vinted and get those up. Next week we probably do need to take it a little bit more seriously and actually get a move on with it. Anyway, back to makeup. I am now going to do highlight. I love highlight. This is the Merit highlighter in Citrine. I also have this in the shade Bounce that I bought last year. It's looking a little bit messy, it must wear. This is beautiful in like a rosy gold sort of way. It's really pretty actually. I'm hoping if I put this on here you'll be able to see it. And then Citrine is more of like a golden one. Oh yeah, you can see it there. So this is the Bounce color, the pinky one, and this is Citrine, which is more of the goldy one. I'm loving them both, but this one's my current favorite, and I just literally put that here, done, and I will just blend it in. I honestly, they are just so soft and like you can barely feel them on the skin. They look so natural, but they do have some shimmer in there. They've got no glittery bits actually, and I'm actually quite partial to glitter. You know, I would love a bit of glitter, but I really, really like them. Finish it off with just a little bit of lip balm. And that is me done. I'm ready for the day. And to be honest, I think that is everything for this week's vlog as well. It's been really nice to be back hanging out with you guys more regularly and getting to do more of our day-to-day stuff. I also think I showed you how pretty my spring blooms are looking. I did actually put a clip in of them, but they are just looking gorgeous. But yes, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being here. If you did enjoy it, please do let me know. Pop a comment if you want to join in with that collective spring reading. I will link that down below. If you want to read what's going on in the Soul Child blog, I will link that down below. So much going on already this spring, but thank you so much for hanging out with me here. Thank you so much for as I said, bearing with me throughout this kind of transitional time with us moving and lots of things going on. I'm really grateful to have this really like soft, gentle, and like no pressure space to connect with you guys. So yeah, that is everything from me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do let me know. Vinted is also going to be linked down below. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you in next week's vlog. Bye guys.